Hi everybody, and welcome back to Distance Learning for Physical Therapy. My name is Joanne Ingram, and I'm a school physical therapist for the County of San Bernardino. Today we're going to work on galloping and skipping. So we're working inside my garage today because it's super windy outside, so the space is a little bit limited, but it's also a good way to show you that you can do these activities in any type of space. You really don't even need a lot of room to do them. So we're going to start with galloping, and galloping is typically something that children will pick up fairly quickly because it stays on one side of the body. It's easier, and also because it comes with its own inherent rhythm. So instead of jumping to an 8 count and adding music for rhythm, the movement itself of galloping has its own rhythm built in. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to kind of start off in a corner and curve it around to fit my garage. And the first thing I'm going to show you is galloping on an 8 count. And that looks just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's galloping on an 8 count. Now I'll show you with it cued with both feet so you can hear the rhythm that the movement has itself. And that's going to look like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, so adding the "and" to the actual movement not only makes it rhythmic and fun and desirable, it actually makes it easier to learn. But for those kids that might have trouble, we're going to break it down. Okay, so galloping is a step, hitch, step, hitch, step, hitch, step. Now I'm calling that back leg a hitch because it's not a full step. It doesn't swing through, and you don't shift your weight all the way back onto it. So if you were to shift your weight, it would look more like a rocking motion, like this. So I cue it as a hitch, just to reinforce that idea that it's a little push forward. But you can cue it any way that works for you. You can call it a step, and step, and step, and step. Or you can call it a push, step, push, step, push, step, push, step. But notice even as I cue it, I keep that rhythm of the gallop in the cueing. So when you start, demonstrate it first to your child at full speed and let them try, see what they get. If they need it broken down, you can go ahead and start them just with working on the movement. So you're going to let them lead with whatever leg they're comfortable with. And it's just the stuck together motion, nice and slow, until they get a feel for what they're doing and can do the movement without you having to cue them on each step. So as soon as they've got the movement going slow, you're going to add tempo to bring up their pace. And you can do that by increasing the speed of your cueing or adding clapping, something like that. So what you're looking for is for them to just start adding a little bounce to the movement. And that's going to look like this. Step and step and step and step. So you want to see that little rise and fall going on. Once you get that, you're on the home stretch. It's just going to be a matter of practice. So if your child is getting that rise and fall, that little bounce, keep letting them do that while you demonstrate the gallop at full speed with flight. In an actual gallop, there's a moment where your feet are both off the floor and you're flying. Okay, after you get the gallop on their preferred leg, then you want to work on the other leg. So this is actually important because it's gonna set your child up for skipping, which alternates leg to leg. So when you start working on the other leg, it can be fairly easy and your child may get it quickly. But if your child is hemiplegic or significantly weaker on one side than the other, it can be super difficult. So don't be discouraged if you have to stay just with this for quite some time as they get the idea of leading with that weaker side. Once they have the movement and you're ready to move them up to a faster tempo, you may see something more like this. So if you're seeing that, your child is trying, but they just have some weakness and lack of stability on that side with that leg leading. So you may have to work quite a while just on that little bounce until you see them start to get some rise out of that front leg instead of it just collapsing on them. So just keep in mind when you're trying to build strength and stability in the muscles, 3 times a week is maintenance. To really make progress on their weaker side, your child needs at least 4 sessions a week. Okay? So once you have that little rise and fall going, you can pick up your cueing, keep demonstrating to them the movement with flight, or you can add music to help them get the rhythm. So if your child continues to have trouble getting the gallop on their weaker side, what you can do is try the sideways slide. So the slide is essentially a sideways gallop. And I've drawn a line here in my garage. It's about 12 feet long. Because I'm pretty tall, you can probably get away with the shorter line. So you want to teach the slide as an activity that goes to the end of the line and comes back. So as long as your child is facing the same direction, they'll be using both sides as they come up and go back. So emphasize that this activity goes up and back from the very beginning. So here's the slide at full speed. And coming back on the rest of the 8 count, it's 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So same thing with the slide. You can start with it nice and slow, just working on getting the coordination of that sideways movement. And you may have to cue every step, one direction or the other, and just keep it nice and slow. If you need to cue them each and every time they move, that's okay. It's just a place where they need to start. Don't be afraid to work there as long as you need to. So once they're able to go up and back without you having to cue at all, you're ready to add just a little bounce to it. And always going up and back both ways. So you can see here I'm bouncing, but I'm not really jumping. I'm just getting a little rise and fall through my feet and ankles. Okay. So there's no actual set order to how you teach this to your child. You may find that working on the slide up and back helps them to get that gallop going forward on both legs. Or you may find that they're not interested in this, but they are interested in working on the gallop forward. So whatever works for you, that's what you need to be doing. Okay, we're going to move on to skipping now. So skipping is a much more complicated activity. And it's more complicated because the movement alternates side to side. But there's a lot of benefits to working on it. And that's because the brain is very good at recognizing repeating patterns. So whether you're hearing a pattern in music, whether you're seeing it or moving to it, the brain immediately recognizes where that pattern starts and ends, and it knows what's coming. So it's happy and comfortable repeating it. So once you get a rhythmic pattern of movement going, you don't have to actively think about what you're doing. Your brain will automatically take care of the details for you. And that's what we're after here. We're training your child's brain to automatically take care of details during movement so that they develop a smooth and fluid quality to the way they move. So let's do some skipping. I'm going to show you here first, skipping on an 8 count. I'm going to do 2 8 counts as I go around and come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's break it down. Skipping is an alternating step hop. So it's step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. So it's actually harder to do it when you're going really slow and emphasizing the movements, because once again, once you get it going in rhythm, it kind of just all comes together automatically. But if your child's having trouble, once again, start with that really slow, cueing every movement. If you have to, now this leg, hop there. Now this leg, hop there. So once they get the idea of skipping, you may see something like this. And that's just skipping on one side without that other leg coming in for the hop. So if you're seeing something like that, slow your child way down, go with them, and every time they step on that leg that's not hopping, tap it and say hop here, okay? And just keep it nice and slow. They need to think about it and take their time to do it, that's okay. So, if you think it will help, you can take them out of the pattern and just work on hopping on that leg that doesn't seem to be getting it. But after a couple of those, take it right back into the alternating pattern, because chances are it's not the hop so much as it is the alternating it from side to side. So that's what we want to work on. Okay, so after you have them doing the movement, alternating, nice and slow, same progress, you're going to bring the tempo up to push their pace up a little bit and get more of a jump out of it. So skipping doesn't have to be a big jump, but as they gain their expertise with it and make progress, it definitely becomes more fun to add some music and to give it a lot of flight when you skip. So of course I have to use Skip to My Lou, and it's more of an old folk song than a nursery rhyme, but Skip to My Lou is good because it not only tells your child exactly what they're doing, it has a lot of good rhythm in some of the verses. So here's the chorus with skipping. Skip, skip, skip to my Lou, skip, skip, skip to my Lou, skip, skip, skip to my Lou, skip to the Lou, my darling. And it's just one example of the song you can use to help your child with skipping. And one of the verses, that's the chorus, so one of the verses that's pretty popular and it's kind of fun. Flies in the sugar bowl, shoe, fly, shoe. Flies in the sugar bowl, shoe, fly, shoe. Flies in the sugar bowl, shoe, fly, shoe. Skip to the Lou, my darling. So, skipping. Once you have your child skipping, then you're working both sides equally. I want to show you one more thing really fast. This is what I call an alternating gallop, but if you have any dance background, you'll recognize this immediately as a step ball change. So this is just another little progression that you can use. This is actually a basic dance step. So if your child's able to do this, they really made good progress. So that's gonna look like this. It's a step, ball, change, step, ball, change, step, ball, change. So it's let me come back to here. It's an alternating gallop. Slowing it down, it's step, hitch, step, change feet. Step, hitch, step, change, step, hitch, step, change, step, hitch, step. So once again, start out nice and slow, having your child do the step, hitch, step, change, step, hitch, step, step, hitch, step, step, hitch, step. And the best song to use for this is We're Off to See the Wizard. This is the actual dance step they use in the movie as they hit the yellow brick road. So just showing it to you at tempo with the song. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We hear he is a wonderful whiz, if ever a whiz there was. And there it is. Once again, an alternating rhythmic jumping activity. So that's it for today, and that's also it for the 2019-2020 school year. Remember, all these videos are on YouTube. You can see them there anytime. If you would like a direct link, email me. I'll be happy to send that out to you. So have a great summer. Remember to stay safe and have fun, and hopefully we'll see you all again in the fall. Bye.